I think with a lot of husbands, it seems like it's more a duty than there is a passion and a pride in being a husband. So it's about the responsibilities that I have and just ticking the boxes.
But then I'm like, yeah, I think we exclude then husbands who don't have kids. And can we even determine that somebody is a good husband just because they look after their kids?
I'm gonna say no to using my money for all the other things that I could use it for. I'm gonna use it for one person. So at every stage of your life, you are sacrificing self for the sake of one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to 2.5 Husbands, where we celebrate becoming better husbands.
It's 2.5, even though there are 3 husbands, and that's because at some point, one of us, if not all of us, was not fully the husband that we were supposed to be.
And that's why we actually come here on a weekly basis to discuss some of the issues that we face, some of the issues we are seeing around us, and we hope that the journey that we started with you and for you is going to benefit you,
and yours.
Sure, Bafetu.
Sure. Pralim Shank. Let's go to have you back.
SLM Shank. Yeah, man.
Anyway.
We did 2 seasons of this thing with it.
2 seasons. I mean, I can't say we all did 2 seasons because some of us had to go do practicals.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been 2 seasons of this institution that is.
Hey, come on now.
You've been
Come on now.
No, the brother's been holding us
Come
down.
on now.
and he
He's
even
been-
ended on one man, gunman. I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, can you go
Bro,
on?
I was like, he's been holding the husbands
Yeah.
down. He's been doing the most. But yeah, it's been 2 seasons of this institution.
We're changing the country with it.
One
episode at a
husband at a time.
One husband, one episode at a time.
Yes, sir.
We have to.
Yeah,
We
man.
have to. So and maybe that leads us perfectly into our chat.
Mhm.
We're actually having a men's conference with it.
Yeah.
Do people think we're joking when we speak about?
Because
I know
so
it's
it's gonna be the 14th. Pella,
No.
14th
Of Feb.
No.
he's a full husband.
If-
He's got
if-
plans for the 14th.
No. Yes,
Tell the
yes.
truth.
But I think
There's another
I am
chat
not
we
gonna
need to
say
have
things
about
on-
Feb.
about Feb.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking that like if we get marketing material and we say 14th of February's men's conference, it's probably gonna look like a joke because that's what people normally do.
People think it's a joke until
And that's
They
why we need to
understand
do
that.
it
Until
Yeah.
their husbands are not there.
because we're starting now
so
again.
their husbands are not there.
Yeah, can be 14. Hey, Mara, we might destroy.
Like a rapture.
We're trying to build marriages.
Yeah, let's rather not. It's
No, we are
Mara,
building
maybe it will
marriages.
build
that would be
marriages.
counter-revolutionary.
What does the English word I think
what?
you're saying? Yeah, absence.
Makes
Makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, because sometimes, yeah. Something I appreciate. In fact, I
that's
think
another
in
chat.
2024,
Come on now.
they must organize
That
what
should
we are
be
doing for
the
Valentine's.
slogan.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
hectic.
Yeah. Oh, on the real though, we have to. Yeah, we are gonna do
The men's conference.
Men's conference.
Yeah, man.
It's needed, and I think in light of that, we should chat about what it means, Buffett, to be a husband.
Yeah, I think husbands in general need more activities together and a lot of time that needs to be spent and invested in.
Focused though,
What do you mean?
because I think husbands have a lot of things that they're doing. They play golf. They play.
Oh, yeah.
Soccer.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say more around how to be a better husband.
Okay.
So I think that's the gap that 2.5 would be filling in terms of
Yeah.
husbands coming together for that specific purpose. Because you're right, they meet up for golf, for drinks, sporting events. So
Taverne.
tabene.
I nearly,
Statistically speaking.
I nearly mentioned
Yeah,
the
more
specific
men.
tavern.
No, don't
Yeah,
do
Mamrubi.
it.
Hmm?
Don't-
There was one back where we come from, down the road. We're not going to mention it by now.
Yeah, the one that's someone's mother.
Eh? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
two
yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
You're famous.
Yeah.
No, that's where our fathers went
Mm.
after.
I don't think Prince's father went there.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, no. He prayed against that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yay.
So did he hang out with other men?
He didn't. I
Yeah.
think that's the one thing that I feel like I feel like my father missed out on community.
Yeah.
Sure.
And he tried, man. And I think the men in his life, I don't see how they could have offered what he needed.
Were they down the road?
No, they weren't. So my father knew a lot. The men that could were not in Rustenburg. So he'd meet them
okay.
every now and then,
Yeah,
but he
okay.
didn't have like the immediate community that I think he needed. But
Yeah.
so he was basically just homebound all the time,
Hey,
all
man.
the time. Yeah.
Now I'm tired of being.
A homebody. You
I'm
wanna
so
be a
tired of
somebody.
being at home.
You wanna fly?
I
now.
know.
2024 is your year.
Let's just say I understand now why those men went to
The
down the
time.
road. I don't condone it.
Tell us more.
What would you say?
You understand
come
why they
back
went?
Yeah, because I mean, you come back from work and you just go and chill with other guys. And
Yeah.
there's no homework. There's there food for the kids.
Yeah.
Papa, she's pulling my hair. No, there was no such thing. It's just gents and
Yeah.
talking nonsense.
Yeah, no, I get you.
I mean, in its essence, that thing is good. It's just the outcome.
What is it?
I'm like, in its essence, hanging out with dudes,
Yeah.
pouring into each other. But I'm like, hey, man, most of those conversations.
Pouring what into each other?
Exactly.
That's the problem.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That the things that are poured there
Yeah,
into
no.
each other
Yeah.
are not happening.
No.
But yeah, man. So what's the state of manhood of it?
Yo.
What's the state of husbandhood
Mm.
in our country? Because I think season 3, I reflected quite a lot with the past 2 seasons. I was like, okay, I think we had a wonderful journey in tackling various things. But I was like, hey, man, did we actually leave out what it would look like to actually change the country one husband at a time?
Yeah.
Have we, as husbands, we've obviously demonstrated, expressed, or showed our own journeys. But then I was like, have we actually paused to think about where the people we wanted to talk to initially are at?
Yeah.
Because guys are not, I mean, at least the feedback that we've gotten quite a lot is, it's just refreshing to see men speak.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to see men really get around the table.
Or men being vulnerable about certain topics.
Yeah, and speak, and not just dudes speaking, but like dudes who are trying to be about this life.
Yep.
And not getting on a platform and saying, oh, look at how horrible these women are. If you're gonna be a high value man or whatever, live this way and stuff all these women. But it's like, yo, man, we actually are about this life. We want to encourage each other. We want to encourage other men out there who are married, dudes who are thinking about getting married, dudes who are thinking of leaving marriage. How do we encourage all of those dudes and say, let's hold each other's hands and walk together, so that when we kick the bucket, at least we've left a legacy, that would have changed just the narrative around men, husbands particularly. And if we even more specific, for the communities we come from.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anyway, well, I'll get to my thoughts on your question.
Yeah.
But before that, because just the thought that went through my mind was around the Red Pillar movement. That would be nice to engage with in an episode. Anyway, because I think that there's some things from there that are impacting men and.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think they represent a faction of husbands?
I don't know. That would be
what they stand for.
There are husbands that I know who flirted with that stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know. But anyway, so my thoughts, where husbands are in our country, I I'm not sure if fatherhood represents like being a good husband, because I think
Sure.
so in my mind I was thinking flip, like this thing is going down the tubes. There's no men who are kind of standing up to be real men, impacting family life and being in the life of the children. So that's the perception I had in my mind. But I think in my immediate context, that is the complex where I stay in, the school where my kids go. I see a lot more men being involved in something like raising children, which I think is a representation of fulfilling your role as a husband. So it baffles me that there's a lot of men who actually drop off their kids at school, wearing wedding rings. So it does seem like there's, at least compared to where I grew up, I didn't see any of that. A man he just goes to work, maybe works night shift because we come from a mining town. Practically speaking, they can't be involved in the lives of their children sometimes. And they come back and go to the tavern just to de-stress. So to see guys who are coming in, picking up their kids, dropping them off, it seems to me that there's a lot more of that in and around where I am. So I don't know if that's a representation, but that's what I'm seeing. In my head, I had a much more negative picture.
Yes.
On the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe it isn't.
I would say, so I'll say in my immediate context, that's what I would probably see as well. But what I have seen more recently as well is, I think with a lot of husbands, it seems like it's more a duty than there is a passion and a pride in being a husband. So it's about the responsibilities that I have and just ticking the boxes. Am I a provider? Is she safe? Is she this? Is she that? Does she have what she needs? But I wouldn't say I've engaged a lot of people who are advocates for being husbands or proud of being husbands, for that matter. They'll still wear the ring, but you have to almost fish for the happiness and the pride that they have as husbands. But I also don't know if it's because I've engaged like a lot of older people. But I also don't want to say that it's because they're older that is.
What are you saying?
It's been rough,
bro.
You can't.
The more you've been in the thick of it.
No, so unfortunately, that's what a lot of the older people will say. So they'll be like, "Hey, my man, you've only been doing this for a year.
Yeah,
I've been here
chill.
for."
So what are they
I'm
saying?
saying?
Like just
So it's like you're still running on proper, happiness. What's this?
Honeymoon stage.
Honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
Wait till you get here and then let's have a chat. So that kind of.
Have you seen Comrades Marathon towards the end where guys are just crawling to finishing line? So when are you still in the 10 kilometers?
Basically what they're saying is
race
that
is easy.
Basically what they would be saying is that. So
I think it's discouraging though.
it's very discouraging.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to enough people where I would say the energy has been reciprocated, where I speak about being a husband or the joys of being a husband. And maybe it's because it's only been a year. I don't know. But it would be nice to speak to people that have been married 15, 20 years and they just like, listen, man, it's good.
This thing is fire.
Go for it and stuff. So, it's almost like I have to convince them that, listen, this thing is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the state of husbands that I would say I've experienced.
But so there is a clear distinction between fathers and husbands.
Okay.
So he's a husband, he's not a father.
Yeah, but I think.
But what I'm saying is, I think because there's other dudes who are fathers and they're not husbands.
That's fair.
Oh, hectic.
Right? So
Yeah.
there's dudes we know.
As in like they're married, but they're not.
No.
Like
you made a child with a woman, but you didn't
okay.
marry her.
I thought maybe they like consistent half husbands. That's what
No.
you're saying.
And that's why I'm saying I think there is a distinction. I think the state of fatherhood in our country, obviously, there's been a lot of light shed on that. And those numbers are big because you'll get more dudes who, I mean, in one sense, it is easy to make a baby. You find a woman, you sleep with her.
Yeah.
She has a kid, right? And we've seen many dudes do that and be afraid of the commitment of actually like going the whole 9 yards, going to
Yeah.
the parents appearing, bringing yourself, being vulnerable, taking somebody.
And if they do, that's when it becomes a duty to be a husband. Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just the
yeah. So if they don't want to,
because I got her pregnant,
yeah, sure, you know. But and that's what I was saying. That I agree with what you're saying. That you would use that example to see where the state of being husbands is at. But then I'm like, yeah, I think we exclude then husbands who don't have kids. And can we even determine that somebody is a good husband just because they look after their kids? They could be horrible to their wives, because then you get people who are married, they have a kid, the marriage sucks, right? And then they take all the love they're supposed to be giving their wife onto the kids, right? And now they're trying to be friends with the kids. They, drop the kid off at school, play with the kid, do stuff, all to basically ignore the love they're supposed to be giving their wife, and actually being a husband. And so he will then elevate the gift, the blessing, responsibility of being a father above being a husband. Because again, your kid will worship you. Your kid will adore you. Your kid,
there's less resistance.
Yeah, even if they challenge you, they're a kid. You still have authority.
Yeah.
But then the what's the word I'm looking for? But the pain or just the boredom of having to deal with an adult who's supposed to be old enough to have fixed her life. Just like tired of the stuff. Let me just pour all my love on this kid. So that's why I'm like, I think we should probably make a distinction.
Sure.
These things marry at some point. I don't think they're not married, but I think, there'll be husbands who will never be fathers.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
And then again, there'll be husbands who are fathers, but then tend to ignore the fact that they are husbands first.
Sure.
And want to, pour out all their attention, care, and love on the kid. That might also speak to just how we started this conversation with the communities we come from. And, again, out of 3, 2, we have father wounds, father scars, right? And we might even be compensating for that.
We all have father wounds.
Yeah, sure.
Some are deeper than others.
Hey, Jesus.
Yeah, no.
This is when it's my dad's truck is bigger than your dad. Well, my dad has cancer.
No, honestly, we do.
Yeah, no.
So yes.
But anyway,
so I'm saying we might be husbands who are then using our kids to heal our own wounds. That our fathers inflicted, and then we ignore our duty and our responsibility to our wives as husbands, and then we would sometimes even parade the kids as, how could you say I'm not a present husband? Look at what I'm doing with our kids, like I'm putting all this attention, and it's like, but Joe, man, you married me first, before we even had kids.
So how would you then describe like what maybe being a good husband is? I think you made allusions to it. So being nice to
being a good husband.
Yeah. No, because if we're looking at the state of being a husband,
yes,
I'm guessing we may be using categories of bad or good.
No, So initially I was just like, where are we at?
Where are we? Yeah. No, and I think maybe just pushing back a little bit on what you guys are saying, I do think they overlap a lot. So in as much as some husbands are not dads, and some dads might be using their fatherhood role as a way to neglect their spouses, I do think in terms of where we come from and taking on the role of being a husband, a huge part of that has to do with being a father. It means it's a window, because I can't be at someone's living room to see whether or not he helps out with the dishes. Chances are both the husband and wife are incorporated. But that gives me just a small picture and a window into maybe life at home, and maybe it does suck. Maybe he's just using the kids as a crutch, but maybe he doesn't. And for me, the consistency of, yes, I haven't seen your wife. It's you every single day dropping this child.
Yes.
Even if you're not excited about it.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's a small picture of, oh, like we came from households where that wasn't even like thought of. Like, your dad is washing dishes. Where are the children? Where's the mother? He's dropping you off at school. Maybe, a few dads would be able to do that. Some maybe who had money to just show off. Already they have good cars. But generally speaking, where I come from, that's not a thing. And I think,
I hear you. So my fear is that we would lose, actually, because again, and maybe because I speak a lot about fatherhood.
Okay.
That we would lose the spotlight on husbandhood.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Right.
No, that's fair.
Because again, I'm like, in a country like ours, there's a lot of fathers.
Yeah.
Tons of fathers.
A lot
right?
more fathers than husbands.
and the majority of them are absent.
We're
Right?
not,
in various ways,
lacking in
physically,
that,
spiritually, financially, emotionally. And we know that's a pandemic. We know that's a disease.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if we just put the lights on being husbands, right? You'll get even the guys who are fathers running away from the responsibility of being a husband. Right? Because for them it's like, but I can get the sex, bro. Right? Hence we made the kid. Why should I commit to you? Right? And so then it's like for 2.5 husbands, why would you even have a platform like this speaking specifically to husbands? Where are these guys? What's the state of husbandhood in our country? You know, what's the state of husbandhood in the communities that we come from? When you get married and the first thing they tell you, I'm Dava fan. You're still young. Bro.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is so true. Yeah.
I was
have
told,
fun first. Yeah.
I was told.
Just go try around.
I was told, no, live together.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
And then the excuse was, no, we're still trying to save for Linyalo.
Yeah.
You know, we'll also contribute to your wedding. I'm like, I know how you people spend money, bro.
Yeah.
You're not saving nothing for this wedding. If I go live with this chick, we'll probably live for 10 years, bro. And every year you'll say, no, we save money, but we're going to use it for Christmas. And we gather at Christmas. Why? Because I think the role of being husbands has, if I'm blunt, has lost credibility.
Yeah.
If there's a bunch of men who can have sex with women, impregnate them without the responsibility of first stepping up and being a husband, then why should I do it, bro?
Yeah.
You know? So much that even the dudes who are in it, you know, it's like, shucks, bro, like, why am I even holding on to this thing? You know?
I'll say that's a lot of what I've experienced with husbands, actually. That whole thing of like, I think I don't even know if it's like being passive, but there's no like energy or gusto in being a husband.
He's back. Gusto.
No, like so cool.
We haven't had to use a dictionary for how many episodes?
I don't even know. When you're educated, your parents paid good money for that education.
Gusto is,
I don't know.
I don't know if that's
Gusto is
in hood language.
No, Kiki Malume July's best friend.
Yeah. Who's that?
What's about those uncles who are named after months?
Malume
Malume November.
Yeah.
Impincha Haki
No,
Gusto.
I apologize if Gusto's not the
No,
word, but
Skawa.
it's always it's to explain like that passion and that
Oomph.
oomph. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to say oomph because I don't know if that's a word that people understand. But I think that's where I would say I've identified a lot of husbands where it's almost like you need to remind husbands again of what it is being a husband so that they can, I don't know if it's like to
fan the fire
fan the fire, you know. So for me, what I've seen is exactly that way. If they are not preoccupied with the children, or if they're not trying to justify their presence by being there for the child, or they're justifying their marriage or the presence in their marriage with being there for the child, if it's not that, then it's just simply the thing of, listen, dude, it's almost like I was supposed to do this. I've never been one for this. I was just supposed to do this, and now I'm doing it. So if we even had to like put down, I would say, an agenda of what it would look like to have a men's conference, I think one of the points for me there would be like the passion around being a husband, like the motivation, like why are we doing this? Because like to your point where people are like, have fun first. I mean, I heard that last week. I was telling someone that I hadn't seen for 3 years that, yeah, man, listen, I'm married.
And they were like, oh, stupid. Why would you do that?
We're dumb.
How would you do that? Yo, what did they say?
Did you want to have sex, bro?
What
You
did
could
they
have
say?
had sex, bro.
Yeah.
Why did you get married?
They didn't even think about that, bro. It was just a thing of why the rush, bro? Like,
Yeah.
like flip. Like why? Like that time I'm coming to them like, hey man, I left the boy, I came back a man. I'm excited,
But that's the thing where, like, I think our culture doesn't incentivize marriage. Or not because I think previously, like, to move in with someone, like in the older generation, that was taboo, and there was a lot of shame around, how can you do that? And I think in countries like Zambia, they're still conservative. I'm not about them, but there's still a sense of in which, like, it's frowned upon to do a fat and set.
But
whereas here it's like, nah, that's just okay.
But do you think the joys of being a husband are spoken of as often as they should?
No.
Because I think that's where it is, where people are like, we don't know, what are we subscribing to if we are to subscribe to this thing. Like,
I don't even think they go that far, bro. I don't even think our culture goes to the point of saying if we would subscribe to this thing. Because I'm like, even when we think about like male role models, I mean, maybe let me speak for, I'll ask you, gents. But how many of the male role models in your life do you see that guy and think, first and foremost, that guy is a wonderful husband? You might think he's a wonderful father or he's a wonderful leader in whatever capacity he's leading, but how often do you see a dude and think, Dassie, I want to be that kind of husband? And part of it is, that's what I was saying earlier to you, I don't think there is a very clear-cut separation between being a father and a husband. I don't, because and obviously from African communities, like it encompasses husband and father,
community leader.
Yeah, but again, in my head, when I think of dudes who are older, the first thing that comes to my mind is this dude is a cool father. He's a dope leader and whatever.
Big shot in corporate.
Yeah, whatever space he's in. Yeah. But very rarely, I'm even trying to think now,
Sharks, bro.
Which dude do I look at? When I met your dad, I didn't think the first thing, oh, your dad is an amazing husband. I just thought your dad is an amazing dad. That's the first thing I thought. You know? Dude was present, raised sons, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, if it wasn't for him being a husband in the first place, you punks wouldn't even be alive.
Yep.
Right? But my instincts didn't go there. And so that's why I'm saying I don't think our culture looks at this, for example, or even us saying we want to put on the men's conference and the first instinct is, what are we actually subscribing to? I'm like, we're not even thinking there is a category. At least that's what I'm seeing.
Sure.
That I don't even think there is a category. And it's part of probably the energizer to why people jumped on this platform.
The gusto.
The gusto. But you must say...
I'm being educated here. Entertain me and educate me.
Yeah, come on now. And you guys can put in the comment section if we write, But I think part of the appeal, that's what C4 said, right? So his whole thing is his all is cooked.
Yeah.
But when he put himself as the cooking husband, then suddenly he was like, husband that cooks.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Right?
Yeah.
Because if he said he was the cooking father,
oh
he
yeah,
was
that's cute.
Sure, exactly.
You have to take care of your child.
Yeah, that's cute too. Well done. You're a father that cooks, right? Or the cooking man,
Yeah.
But the minute you say husband, it's like,
shucks.
It's
I
like-
hear what you're saying. Yeah.
and for dudes
yeah.
as well, because
Yeah.
I think even with women, right? They fantasize so much about marriage that I think they think about, you know, the kind of guy that they'll marry, the stuff that they'll do, blah, 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 blah. But and then the kind of father that he'll be to the kids, wow, because obviously, you know,
Yeah.
there's the motherly stuff and they want kids. But I think very rarely do women also, and I might be wrong, shoot me if I am, do they pause and think, Jesse, like, this guy would make such a great husband. Nje, outside of anything else.
But so I mean, I'm struggling. Anyway,
I feel like today's woman would, and that is because I think there's I don't know if it's a consumerism that's now I don't know if it's been heightened or if it's been emphasized, where women are just like we know what we want and we will speak about it.
Where are those guys though? That's what I'm saying.
Which guys?
Their husbands that they want. If that's where you were going.
Stop being offensive.
No, I'm asking because I'm saying if I'm trying to comment on the states of husbandhood,
Yeah.
the people who are selling them these husbands, where are these?
But the
so much so that
the nature
people would
of
jump.
husbands that are being sold are not are perhaps in what I would call that phase of infatuation.
Infatuation.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I think it leaves it at that, where I think marriage is beyond just that phase of
Sure.
you in love. On Valentine, he buys me gifts. He takes care of me emotionally. Yeah, he's a good provider. Like I'm not sure how you can talk about being a husband and separate the different roles you play as a dad. You play
Sure.
as a boss. Like as in,
Sure.
I'm bringing the bacon here.
Sure.
And what I think, my observation of women, I think they want someone who can provide. Those kind of
Yeah.
things. So what is a good husband? Is it that
Yes.
that romantic comedy,
Yes.
a romantic guy who just blows your like out of
Because that's what I was gonna ask. Who blows what? Anyway, but that's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask, and I cut you, and I want you to finish your point. Because I was saying like everything you just described. Any Mandla and Temba and John can do it.
Yeah.
Who has a nice job in corporate SA? He can be there for Valentine's.
Yeah.
He can provide the romantic getaway, go to Dubai. He can give you the nice sex. He can, buy you a car if he wants, and he,
Yeah.
I'm like, he can do that. And he could probably say, and he can give you a child. Why should I be a husband?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was saying. The consumerism, don't. Who are they being sold? And that's your thing of saying, what's your question? I'm not running away from it. Defining what a good husband is. Because I'm like, if that's where you were going, like anyone can do that.
Yeah.
And there's dudes who think like that, who are like, but I took you, your friends have never been to Dubai. Yeah? But I'm Dubai.
Baiti
Debe.
Dubani.
Varamba.
Bella.
They say how ya Bella is not a holiday. Ke lieto.
Uyovakasha.
Yeah.
Wow. Ke lieto fela. Wedile. Yeah. But I hear what you're saying. So I was basically saying when you were asking, do women look at what they want in a husband, what kind of husband they want? I just feel like women are now more vocal and they speak more now about what they want and how they're not gonna settle for less. We're not asking. We're not asking where those men are. I think the conversation is just, I think they know, and I think they focus on the kind of husband they want.
And
today's woman.
And what are some of those things you think? Like if you
So from what I've heard, from what I've
so
from the people I've engaged.
So you're saying our mothers and grandmothers didn't have an idea of
Not that they didn't have an idea. I don't think they vocalized it as much as our women.
Oh,
do.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
Hey, my man. Like,
I think if anything, we got back to that.
no. We'll get to
Right.
that. But I do think today's women speak. I do think today's women speak about the kind of husband they want beyond him being a father and all of those other things. And I say that because I think there's a group of women that have realized that it's easy for him to be a father than it is for him to be a husband.
Sure.
I think there's a group of women that have realized that,
Sure.
and they're like,
Sorry, it's easy.
It's
it's
easy
easy
for him
to be a father than for him to be a husband. And I think there are women that are now standing up and they're saying, listen, we want a husband. I want a man that is going to.
Bro, because listen, dog. I think women want somebody who's committed to them first, bro.
100%. 100, like committed to them more than you're committed to breathing.
Yeah. Listen, I think wives also do this. You know, when they become mothers, then they tend to shift their lights away from the husband and they put the lights on the kids. You know, and obviously in shaky marriages, then what I said earlier on happens from the woman's side where they try and find love, friendship, etc.,
Sure.
from a child. Where
Sure,
I'm like, you're going to
yeah.
crush this poor thing.
Yeah.
You need to be finding that in your husband. I do think women want somebody who's going to commit
When
to
you
them.
say that, like, we're not talking. So at the bare minimum, that he's not looking at other women.
Aye.
We're not talking about that.
No.
We're talking about a consistent pursuit of
Oh.
the woman. Is it that episode that you guys did?
Yeah, the one on
on
pursuit.
Pursuit.
When do you
Yeah.
start pursuing?
So is that what you would define as a good husband?
No.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Are you saying
Yeah.
that's the kind of husband a woman wants?
It sounds like
Yes.
It sounds like
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, just like I would want a woman who's committed to me,
Yeah.
I was responding to Prince's statement that there's women now who are like, it's easy for him to be a dad.
Yeah.
You know, he can you know, get the kids on the weekend, live however he wants to live his life, pay school fees. I was shopping for clothes not long ago, and I was in the change room anyway. But you know, I shop at dodgy places, and I could hear this chick speak, calling her mother, saying to her mother, she took the son to school, and the son was crying for the dad, right? And then he's like, please call his sister, so the dude's sister.
Yeah.
So they're not married, and they have a kid together. Call the dude's sister because he clearly blocked me, right? Yeah, and he's blocked me for 2 weeks now.
Yo, yeah.
And I'm like, you see, it's that kind of stuff though, where it's like she recognizes that this dude can be a father in this kid's life. So obviously they solved the thing.
Yes.
The kid was gonna end up with him on that Friday, but I think he didn't want to engage with her.
Yeah.
So it's easy for him to come in and out of the kid's life,
Yeah.
pay school fees, take the kid on a Friday, bring them back on Sunday, wada, you know, and then he can say he's done his part, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously it's a whole other conversation about fatherhood, which I don't think, but anyway, we live in a tough society. And so Prince is saying there's women who are like, I just don't want that. I don't want to be shouting in the middle of a store, calling my mother to call my ex-boyfriend's sister so that we can get a hold of him to come pick up his son.
Yeah.
I'm saying I actually think women want a dude who's going to be committed to them
Yeah.
first, right? No, so not this whole relentless pursuit stuff, which we can get into, but the same way I want my wife to be committed to me,
Yeah.
you know. So I'm like, yeah, we have a daughter. But yeah, so you married me, bro.
Yeah.
Right? This kid is here because of us.
We are one.
I'm
not
your
one with
first
the child.
priority. You're my first priority, right? And obviously, even that thought is radical for some people. But I'm like, that's what marriage is. Right?
Yeah. I was listening. I don't know who it was. If it was a feed on social media of this lady saying that, like, they sometimes take turns with around the kids.
They married.
They married.
Okay.
As in, like, when she recognizes that the husband is tired, it's time for her to step in, even if maybe she's on a battery's on fire.
That's your favorite author who said that was.
Was it?
Yeah. Renee.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
And one is on 2%. We'll prioritize them. And then she said something that I was like, wow, actually, I think a lot of that is true. She said that at this stage of our lives, we're just trying to be good parents without having to kill each other.
Sure.
Where
Sure.
I feel like at certain
Sure.
times, seasons of marriage, it's going to be focused on raising kids.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like that enhances the relationship, I think. Because, and maybe in my head, I have a lot of pushback against Western individual definitions of what it means to be a husband.
Or to be a person.
Or what it means to pursue your wife. Where it's like, society told us what it looks like to be a good husband. Society maybe got rid of those value systems. That's why we find ourselves here.
Yeah.
So, I think that for me, I'm pushing back against the individual, like inward focus, inward centeredness of marriage, in as much as we do recognize that it is both husband and wife. But maybe that's the problem with our society, where it's just too couple focused, too romantic.
No, I hear you.
Romantic focus.
But so I'm saying the thing where I'm like amen and amen is even in that example they spoke together. This is where we are, and we're gonna therefore use our energy to look after these humans. What I was referring to is that there's most cases where the wife just wakes up or the husband wakes up and thinks, I screw this spouse. I'm just going to focus on my kids. For me. And that's very individualistic.
Yeah.
The dad is trying to find fulfillment in raising these kids apart from the mom because he doesn't like the mom, and vice versa. Where it's like, well, we had a kid now. Yeah, you used to go chill at the tavern. I was hurt because I was alone. But now I actually don't even care. Go chill in many taverns as you want. I'm just going to chill with my kids.
Yeah, wow.
Right? And that's why I'm like, that for me. So I'm like, in your example, they both sat and said, hey, if you're at 20, I'm going to step in. If we both now at 5%, how are we going to use those 5% to then look after these? But we're doing it together.
So would I, in response to that, use the word partnership as as perhaps a barometer of whether we're doing well? So on either side of marriage, if you're not a good partner, if you're not bringing to this relationship camaraderie, wanting to move towards each other, wanting to work together, then maybe that's being a bad husband.
Yeah, I had an idea for a project you're working on, which I'm not going to mention, but this is a good part of that project.
Sure.
I was going to forget, so it's now noted. So.
I almost said when we have the men's conference,
Yeah.
based on the state of husbands now, what are, I'd say, maybe top 3 conversations that we're going to have with husbands in South Africa?
So I think we need a very clear definition, which we should get to because we're robbing people. We need a very clear definition of what a husband is. Now, and obviously we're not going to do that conclusively, but I think we need that. That would be top of the agenda for me. So then,
The definition of a husband.
as we speak moving forward, this is what we mean when we say husband.
You mean on this podcast or as part of the men's conference?
As part of the men's conference, so that's what I would put as.
Okay.
But
So
I'm saying even now in this episode we need a taste.
Now
And
you'll have to come to the men's conference.
He's a marketer. but it's gonna be a what's the thing? A live definition. I don't think we'll ever.
Yeah.
We should. There should be clear guidelines on what the thing is, but I think it'll be a live definition as long as this platform exists, because we're gonna grow in that. So there's been a lot of spotlight put on how fatherhood is obviously what it is, but I'm saying part of what will keep this definition being added to his putting a spotlight on what being husbands are. So anyway, long way
Yeah.
to say for me that would be first
Top
on
of
my
mind,
agenda.
yeah.
How do we?
What do we define it as?
Yeah, because even now I'm like, what do we define as a husband, bro? Now in
Yeah.
South Africa, 2023, what is a husband, right? And maybe even in our definitions, which we kind of we go to the pragmatics.
Goals.
What can he do?
Yeah.
Which I'm like, again, bro, some of these
Yeah.
things anyone can do. Hence, I think the state of husbandhood has diminished, because then it's
Sure.
like there's no value in this thing if it's based purely
Yeah.
on all the stuff that I can do, where a guy with bigger pockets than the three of us combined
Can do more,
can
but
do
still
more
not be.
and say,
Yeah.
why should I marry you? I mean, Thing is not married, Buffett.
Who's that?
Which is number 7. And he has more
Ronaldo.
money. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mom?
Yeah, Ronaldo. Ronaldo has more money than us. Has how many kids?
He's he's not married.
He's got 2 or 3 kids. If he's got 3 kids, that's the same amount of kids that exist in this podcast. He has more money than the 3 of us, including this equipment, the building that we're in right now. And he's just like, I don't have to be a husband, bro.
Shucks, because he's doing everything that
And
we
more.
we would use as
That definition.
hectic.
So what is a husband, Matan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, maybe you're gonna say something.
I'm trying to think of a definition.
So I'm
That's
thinking.
hard.
I get it. This is a live definition.
Yeah.
I think for me, what's coming to my mind is the whole channeling of your resources, everything that has to do with you, your power, your money, your ability to love. Because I do think like men have those qualities to give their hearts to somebody, to be able to channel that energy that you have, that those abilities and resources towards the pursuit of a woman. By that I mean letting go of myself, my fear of commitment, and saying I'm gonna commit, which is in of itself hard enough to pull off. That I'm gonna say no to my ability to love thousands others and choose this one person. I'm gonna say no to using my money for all the other things that I could use it for. I'm gonna use it for one person. So at every stage of your life, you are sacrificing self for the sake of one. I would think
Sure.
that's
Yeah. That's good.
what I would how I would begin to have.
So
to-
I
to
think
define.
I would start with a husband is someone that firstly acknowledges and commits in front of family, in front of the state, and in front of, I guess for us, the church, that they are going to choose a woman that is going to be, I'd say, the center of their resources, but a woman whose well-being is going to be their number one priority. So maybe just to run it back, I'd say a husband is someone, as a man, an adult male, I don't know if, but technically, I guess, but
I'm 18, so
yeah. Let me just say adult.
male.
Yeah. But a husband is an adult male that has acknowledged and publicly declared in front of family, in front of the state, in front of the church, that they are choosing a woman whose well-being is going to be their primary responsibility. So I'd leave it at that for now, because I think I'm getting too technical in my own mind. But I think of, so you speak about like resources, you speak about the channeling of power, and I'm like, I can think of men that channel a lot, but they are still like, because I mean, Jay-Z number 7, we could say to some extent,
But
he's channeling.
I think part of channeling is like you got, channeling. And I think what I love about your definition is that well-being of somebody else. You channeling your power. I've seen men who are powerful and use their physical power to beat up a woman, to be able to channel those resources towards the well-being of your wife. That's powerful. I think that's
Jersey number 7 was even. Where is he playing in Saudi now? Where does he
he's
play?
in Saudi.
They were willing to change the laws for him, bro.
Bro, so I was shocked, right? So I was shocked.
That's how much, and I'm not saying that's his agenda.
he's not willing to.
But
No,
that's how much,
bro.
that's how much people who are not willing to commit to being husbands would even look at that as their primary role model. If a whole country can decide, bro, we trashing our traditions and
Islamic
values
laws.
Bro,
for this dude, bro.
no. I was actually shocked that even it passed because I was under the impression that the law in that land is so strict on the husband being present or the partnership being one that is recognized by the state that like it's we're not willing to compromise.
It is.
This is who no, and I say that because I was in I we had a layover in the Middle East and I met a guy from Joburg, right? And so when I was speaking to this guy and I was like, so how is it working in where were we? I don't know where we were. I don't know if it was like Riyadh or something. But how is it working in a state like this? And the biggest thing he mentioned was that here you can't just bring your girl and say we're gonna build life. It has to be your wife. There are some hotels and some facilities you can't access because you're not married.
Yeah.
So when I heard
I'm not cheater.
no, you get what I'm saying? Like if a woman comes, if you're at a hotel, a woman comes, you have to show proof. There's another country that
Most
This-
Islamic countries, one couple that
isn't there an African country that
are
also
married, they needed a certificate to go on honeymoon to Egypt, I think.
Wow.
yes.
It's like you can't just
Can't just rock up.
just rock up. We
so
need that
with,
law.
with him, I
We
was
need that law in
shocked
South
that-
Africa.
because I'm like, you can't say his wife is in need of anything that the world would regard as a need for a woman. The money's there, the career, the exposure, the glitz and the glamour. Like that girl has, let me not disrespect, sorry. That lady, she has more than a lot of wives.
Could ever
And
dream
she's not
of
even a
having.
wife.
So here's where I'm getting to, and this is part of my definition of what a husband is. I think just even now where we are in this conversation is just reminding me, which Muruti has always said, you know,
Yeah.
he alluded to it now with Western individualism getting into changing the world, changing society, changing how we live. And again, we're not even saying that, you know, African way of doing things is also perfect, but
No, it's just
but
better.
in this in this
kidding.
regard,
What did you say?
it's just better.
I know the West must chill,
in
man.
this in this regard, bro, part of having what a husband is, nah, is not necessarily. It's not only just for himself and his wife and the person he's gonna pour into, etc., etc. But having those clear categories preserves generations, bro.
Yeah, hundreds.
Right?
Hundreds.
Because then if we saying, at least in our life definition, a husband is somebody who would commit, right? Because then the argument to push back would be, if I don't make that commitment, but I can still, you know, dedicate myself to pouring out. We don't know Jersey number 7's life, but you know, what if Jersey number 7 is like, me, I've never been with any other woman. I don't cheat. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm committed to, I just don't want to be a husband, right? Why should I hold the banner of being a husband?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, part of putting those things in place and saying, you're going to commit before you even live with this person.
Yeah.
You're committing to them, right? I think that preserves society, preserves generations to come. Just having that kind of commitment in place, right? And so a husband is somebody who's saying, yes, one, I'm going to give myself to this person. We're going to build a family together. But I'm standing here as a member of this society, of this nation, who's saying, I'm thinking about future generations. And I'm not only just committing to this moment, but I'm committing to the health of the family, of the society for many generations to come, right?
Yeah.
Because that commitment, gents, we know this. You make it not knowing what the next 2 months is it has in store for you, right? All those things we say we're gonna be here when it's rough, when it's smooth, blah blah blah.
Prince. What about Prince? What? Did you not have vows at your wedding?
No, I
You
took
wrote
you wrote
vows.
your own vows.
Yeah.
You wrote. Was it your wife who wrote?
No. Yeah, she
Oh.
she made me say those things.
Oh, hectic.
No, correct.
Legit.
We must read your vows.
You must. And see,
Yeah, I've got
and see
them
where
on my
you at.
bedside there.
You must bring them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring
So
them.
we hear
I'll
where
bring
you
them.
at.
She asked me the other day. She's
Yeah.
like, "Do you remember what you said?"
Yeah.
And then I went for it.
Yeah.
I said,
Come on now.
yeah. I remember a portion of it though, because Anyway, let's not get it.
So there is a weight that comes with that commitment, Buffett. That's what I'm saying. You know, so all these things that many other societies and cultures have had before. So rites of passage from being a boy to a man. You can look at that and think, oh, it's primitive, it's useless, blah, blah. But that thing
Nah,
does
there's
so much
significance,
to preserve us as a people, future generations to come. And yes, none of it is perfect, but I'm saying part of, I think, being a husband in the culture and the time that we live in, putting that commitment, I think, would preserve us in a lot of things. Would save us in a lot of things. Even the children that some of these dudes have, outside of committing to the mothers who carried these kids, I think it would solve.
But we speak about this preservation. But would you say that the culture at large sees the decay?
We do, bro.
Because you speak about preserving, and I'm like, I know a lot of men that would speak about their contribution to their posterity or to their family being the financial support, being I'm there, I'm present, just not gonna commit. But there's a decay that you're obviously identifying in the fact that you are not a husband, even though you tick all 9 of the 10 boxes. But would you say that people can see why?
Yeah,
there's
bro. I think we speak about this stuff on these platforms, other social media platforms, just where our society's at, some of the ills we have, some of the problems we have, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I'm like, once I'm like totally hell bent on not committing to somebody's daughter, I'll find ways to justify why my lack of commitment could be part of the thing that's contributing to the issues that we have.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, yeah, there's issues, but you're telling me that part of what's causing these issues is because I'm not committed to somebody's daughter. If I'm hell bent in not making that commitment, I'm like, nah, what there's fatherlessness, there's dudes who don't have work, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, those things are true, but I think part of the issue is that you're not committing.
Sure. What is it about that commitment that you think needs to be stressed and emphasized?
So it's what you said as well. That commitment is not made just between me and the girl I'm marrying. That commitment is made between me, her family, my family, our society. It's made before God. As a man, that's weight, bro.
It is.
That's weight. And I think that weight shapes how a husband carries himself. It shapes how, he's supposed to, what posture he has in marriage. And that's why I think, since, again, we're talking about the state of marriage, why other husbands are crushed, right? In marriage. Because you hold that weight, right? And then you trying to live in accordance with that weight. So you wanna lead. And then, that's why Supati is the mascot of this podcast. And then... there's clashes. And part of the thing that you're feeling when you're clashing with your wife is, but Dassie, like, do you know how much I'm this invisible weight that I'm carrying? It's not that she doesn't have weight, but this invisible weight that I'm carrying. Supposed to be, I took you from your parents' house.
And
I said I'm gonna look after you. I said what you just said. I'm gonna commit all of my resources, all of my being
to you
to ensure that you become the best that you can be. and maybe part of the thing that makes the term husband, right, attractive, again, C4's book, this platform, is because people know about that invisible weight. And they know that it's there.
Yeah.
And they know that we're supposed to carry it,
Yeah.
right? But that husbands don't say it. And in the moments when you feel crushed and you feel challenged, trust me, dog, you're not going to sit there with your wife and be like, woman, do you know how much weight I'm carrying? Can you see this invisible weight that's on my shoulders? From God, from society, from families, from...
Yeah.
But we know it's there.
Yeah.
We know it's there. But if I don't have to wear that cloak, bro, I don't have to wear that, I feel free from that, bro.
Yeah.
Then I can say, but look, I'm giving you Dubai trips, I'm giving you blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, anyone can do that. But committing to stand, in front of the whole village and saying, I'm taking on this cloak, bro.
Yeah.
That's next level, dog.
Okay.
And that's the stuff for me. I'm like, that just does not preserve the marriage, but it's going to preserve generations to come.
Yeah.
And anyone else, a boy who's going to become a man, who says they are desiring to be a husband, that's what they should know. That's what it means. That's what I'm going to be carrying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to be holding. But I think, again, in the society we live, because there isn't much light shed on what the role of what a husband is, I don't even think it's probably even new language to other people that there's a weight that a husband carries.
Sure.
There's a weight that comes with that commitment. Right. So that'd be my thing.
Okay.
So-
Cool. So it'll be the definition and.
Yeah.
All right.
You're gonna be a keynote speaker, Mruti.
Yeah, he's.
We need a prince who's
Kakasto.
at the start of the race to tell us of the joys. Of the joys.
Now you make it sound like there are no joys after 9 years.
I'm just saying,
Chapter
you're
10.
more
You did 10 this man
joyful.
this year.
Oh, 10.
You're more joyful.
Yeah.
We on the halfway line.
How will I of what?
When the knees are starting to give in.
They're buckling.
But we here. We are running, Mama. So, yeah.
In closing, Bafetu, maybe what would be other things on the agenda? So I just
So we said the first one
definition
would be the definition.
which is a very
There's-
heavy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I think it would just be about like I almost said reviving, but revisiting the joys that come from being a husband.
Hundreds, bro.
Yeah, that would be man. Maybe I'll contribute that, seeing as I just started the race.
No. When you give the
Because I
talk, it
still got
doesn't
the
mean
spring in
other
my-
people.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
It just means, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But and I think that there is the beauty of community. It's when my wife and I attend weddings. We joyful, but our joy is not that phase of the romantic
sure.
stuff. It's
It's the
looking
real
back.
one.
Yes, it's somebody described it, not real one.
It's
You
the
said-
real
Somebody
one.
described it
You
as
said
like
it,
roots, like the roots going deep, and you like it's what did
Yeah,
it
the
was
fruit,
Martin's
the fruit
thing.
is sweeter, bro.
Where like the roots are so deep that and intertwined that you don't even see. It was about 2 trees. I can't even remember the illustration, but the roots become intertwined. So I
Yeah.
think there is joy in that. But when we go to a new wedding, like not a new wedding, at a wedding, there is a renewal of that joy where
Okay.
it's
Sure,
almost like you
sure.
see yourself
Yes.
through the couple that's getting married, and you relive that excitement of the first few years of when you were married, because you can't go back to that.
Can't
Yes.
do it.
And I think that's the thing. The joy is different. So for me to talk about 10 years, it would sound very different from someone who's like.
But
new
maybe
to
we
it.
should then have both.
Yeah,
perspectives.
fair enough.
Or maybe 1 year, 10 years, and then 30 years.
Or maybe the married life, which is why I'm like, again, living the Western life is just so much of a lie, because you cannot. It's almost like I feel pressure of maintaining that excitement, and I'm like, you can't. So unless I'm meeting with younger couples and we
couples.
sharing with them life and walking through their excitement, we're not gonna be like rekindling our excitement.
Yes.
Sure.
No matter how many dates you go to, and sometimes, and maybe I'm not consistent. Like I would go on dates, and I'm like, wow, this is working. The partnership is exciting, but those things, I can't constantly do that. So I think you need to be pouring yourself. To
Why
younger,
not? Why can't
yeah?
you constantly do that?
Yeah, man,
you're
life just
human.
takes over. I'm
Yeah.
human, and then next thing, the schedule, rhythms change. There's December, like you just.
But now the things
like
you
going to
used to
gym.
do when you wanted me, you no longer do those things.
Yeah, but
You
right
stop
now,
Life was
pursuing
different
me.
though.
right
You stop
now,
pursuing me now.
I'm fighting other things, man. Like,
No, I the pursuit is different.
yeah,
Can't be the same.
Yes. I used to buy flowers. Now I wash dishes.
Well,
but unless, and that's my thing, where
Yes.
going back home to my wife's family, looking my in-laws in their eyes, I'm like, that brings a certain level of, hey, like, just remember that this marriage is like is important, and so that
Yeah.
for me reignites
Yes.
me being resolved to being a better husband
Yeah.
rather than going on dates. Not that do both.
well, you can do both. Yes,
Do both.
yes. It's
Go
like
on
when
dates.
it's like when we went on the 20-year anniversary.
Yeah,
That was an older couple.
yeah.
They've been married for 20 years. So even that brings a.
That brings an excitement, and I think we should be.
Hey, your wife thought you were hot that day.
I was.
I was.
Men's is up front. Tushapileka.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm like looking at your wife's eyes. I'm like, hey,
No, she was gone.
come on now. What's that?
She was gone.
Wait,
I was
Salah.
preaching. about
Ah,
that.
never batla umtswara, babatla umu.
Yeah.
Shigigigiti.
What were you preaching about? Was it what you said or what you were looking like or like the entire package?
Nah,
Everything.
I think it's the authority of being upfront.
He's in all his bags. He's in his leadership bag. He's in his beautiful Scorpio bag.
It was the head.
I'm fine. He's in his swag bag.
Yeah.
Even the English. Hey, but they
Yes.
No, English is
worry
not.
when we are
Yeah.
when a child is naughty, they are
Bad.
When the thing flies in the air, it's a
Bad.
when we are tired, we sleep in a
But
yeah. So cool. But your wife,
He's your friend.
but your wife, I know she loves you, and that's what I'm saying. Even the joy there of seeing a couple that's
Yeah.
and then the wife like writing new vows, bro. Now informed by the past 20 years
shucks.
and a
I
hope
know.
for the next 20 years.
Yeah, no, that was a rekindle.
why didn't you guys do that for 10 years and then we can kind of see
I don't know,
and then-
chele.
No, not about the event, but just do something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
should.
and then pour into.
Should.
Maybe the year 12. I agree, 12 is a completion.
Is it? Isn't
it
7?
Is it
Isn't
7?
7 completion?
Seven. So you ditched us for 7. Eh?
we make this thing up as we go.
Oh, 12 tribes.
Yeah, the 12
All
tribes.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Come
12.
on.
12 years.
Yeah. 12 years a slave.
12 years. Yeah. This one is gonna get in trouble.
Bruh.
It's a film. It's a
yeah.
Periscope.
No, but I'm thinking about how you speak about what you guys got from the 20 years or the 20th anniversary, and I'm like, there is something that we can get from the 10 years as well.
No, that's true.
We
Yes.
like for example, and to because I'm like I was encouraged. I mean, I've always wanted to be a husband, but then looking at y'all's marriages, looking at how you guys walk, and I'm like, is this it? And I was like, I want this,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean, now that I'm in here, I'm like, I still need,
Yeah.
you know.
100, bro.
No, I think we should do that.
Yeah.
It's one of the topics. What joy looks like at different seasons in different seasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we should talk about how to move our marriages back into community.
What do you mean?
So as one of the topics, like part of being a husband
Yeah.
is getting other men shoulder to shoulder with you in the walk of life. People who are younger than you, people who are
Okay,
at the
okay.
same level as you, people who've been doing it for longer than you.
Yes.
I think that the concept of community and the dignity of marriage will be it becomes stronger when we are together. And I think part of where the state of our nation is that there's not a lot of
Sure.
society kind of shaping
True.
events or spaces to
Yeah.
to gain that camaraderie and that
Yeah.
you're not in it alone. Yeah.
Sure.
Because yeah, bro. Because when husbands gather, they bring families.
That's good.
When wives gather, they'll come as themselves and not any fault of theirs.
Yeah.
Because the husband is like, man, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, go society. I'm not going there. Right?
Sure.
But if husbands would get up and say,
Ooh.
we're going to meet with the Tsewus, with the Kobedis, right? Most likely the wives will say, yeah, sure, I'll come. And the kids will follow as well. And I think this just speaks to the, remember that thing we went to where they were speaking about joy and how the joy of men would revive this country. If men would have joy. Right?
Yeah.
And I think if husbands would have joy, even in gathering together,
Bro.
that would revive families, that would revive, and again, to no fault of the wives. But wives gather more than us.
Yeah.
Right? They do. But again, because, we are who we are, we would not follow. But they would most likely follow, right? Especially once we sold. If you sold, bro, right, your wife might not even like that thing, but she'll vibe because you sold. The joy of seeing her husband sold for something, I mean, imagine if the three of us would just say now to our wives, we're going to have a picnic, Ravaya, and we planned everything.
None of them will say no.
I don't think any of them would be like,
Not a picnic in Ludala.
no, I'm just saying it's simple. Ankari, we start with low-hanging fruit, dog.
Hello, what's wrong with picnics?
No, this guy wants to organize a trip to Dubai. Where I'm like,
I'm
but
not.
dog,
No.
we can't even get them to the garden outside.
I'm not.
Let's go for low-hanging fruits.
Yeah, I know.
Every 2nd December,
Yeah.
all families, Zogalan, and the
That's
husbands
dope. That's
Yeah.
dope.
have. But now there's a beauty in that thing.
That's
No,
dope.
there
I
is.
like that.
As the joy of husbands wanting to, again, create those society shaping events, right?
Maybe we should do a picnic before, like this year, at the end of the year.
Oh. Guys, if we reach 1,000 subscribers, we're doing a picnic.
Hi man, Cupcake gave us a holiday at the 15.
And I told you, I declared that thing as presidential day.
17.
That's the day we're gonna remind Uncle Cyril next year when he's
No, it's the
voted
day we're
out.
gonna say goodbye to him.
That's what I'm saying.
On the
15th
15th, okay.
December for the rest of his life will remind him.
Yeah.
This is where you fumbled the bag.
And we should speak to him
Anyway.
as a husband as well.
Good
Okay.
man.
Anyway.
So
All right.
yeah. So anyway, let me stop talking of it. We have a life definition for husbands. If you have any comments or thoughts about how to define a husband, please.
There has to be a tug of war at this men's event. There has to be
Obviously.
a ex. Have you seen those videos? It's
Nah,
normally guys at the
nah,
UK
me-
who use like again.
Yeah, like those
But there's a
competitions.
competition. And I'm like,
I think it's deep, bro. I would want a smash room, bro.
what is it?
I mean, there are a couple of smash rooms around where you just
Oh,
go
you
smash
just
stuff.
go smash stuff.
Yeah, husbands
Just
need a room where they're just gonna smash things. bro.
Hectic.
How do you think? Because I was gonna ask
Yes.
this, and I wanted to use a very strong language, but firstly, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like
Spirit
stopping the. Am I allowed to say BS?
You said it. Yeah.
The billing system.
The billing system.
The billing system when it comes to just guys and vetting. So when we gather, it's very hard, or at least I've seen when you ask a dude, how's
your
marriage going?
Yeah.
Most guys say it's going well. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
No, it's always going
yeah. When for 5 years, I'm not like,
and maybe we must qualify the question, dog. I'm not asking as somebody who's just passing by.
yo,
I'm here, keep right. I'm sitting in this pocket. How's your marriage, bro?
But I do think a lot of guys would be more open and vulnerable, considering the conversations they've heard here. with husbands where they're like, I know you would understand me if I spoke freely about how my marriage is going. So I do think that it's something that the leadership in the sense of the people running the show. So if we were to have a men's conference, I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, don't think husbands would struggle speaking up. Honestly, based on the conversations we've had on the platform.
Yeah, I think at the conference, but what he's talking about is just, I met you at a braai now. And we standing.
Yeah, but also are you expecting people to be deep at a braai or deep at whatever casual setting?
We're here for 7 hours, bro. You can.
But also, it's with assumed, like, I've known you, Prince. It's not like we just met.
Yeah, it's not a random stranger.
And I'm like, okay, like,
I'd even think it's better if it's a stranger because this person. I
yeah,
can
like,
dump
I'm
and
just
leave.
gonna,
Yeah,
But anyway.
yeah, to say, man, I'm really struggling.
Shucks.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
And
well, yeah, and because I think it will heighten the joys. That when we speak about the joys, we have context that it's not always joyful. So when you're always joyful, I sometimes struggle to believe that it's actually that.
No,
good.
I don't believe.
only.
I'm just like, yeah, no. It can't always be. Well, yeah, I'm getting into something else, but I'm like, it's like to celebrities or the celebrity persona
Yeah.
where you have to only show us what's good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then you hear that what do they say when things don't work out? We are
Head
apart,
up.
something.
Yeah.
We grew apart, yes. And then you hear people growing. I'm like, this is the kind of rubbish that I don't stand for. So
You didn't grow up, but you regressed.
Ach, that's a thing. But anyway, no, we'll discuss it at the men's conference, and I think men will be comfortable. I think husbands will be comfortable because I do think that there's a lot of work that the platform has done to kind of start conscientizing husbands to speaking up and being honest about.
Yeah, and
What
maybe
they're
even some
going through.
encouraging things, even as we try and like zone down on a definition for what this thing is. Just people who said watching this has given them some clarity on what to look for.
Sure.
Which again, I'm like, hey man, it's 2.5 for a reason. We don't think we fool husbands. We're celebrating our small wins, calling each other for our failures. We want to become better. And if talking about that and demonstrating it has helped a couple of sisters think about what kind of husbands to look for. Shout outs, man.
Yeah.
Shout outs. And for other dudes who are like, hey man, I mean, there's one dude who spoke to you. I was like, hey, I'm not ready for this thing. If this is what it looks like. But others who are like, hey man, I'm encouraged to at least see brothers. Because, bro, we don't have older guys. And even at the casual braai, I'm like, had this been 60, 70 years ago, maybe even 40, bro. Just, those hot mans where we like, this uncle, wapapa. Because he then comes, let me tell you, I'm married, man.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you about marriage, And then he just offers advice you didn't ask for. We don't have that anymore.
Unsolicited advice.
Yeah. Which was probably their own little way of saying, like, we don't have likhutla where we're gonna sit down and talk about how we're gonna educate these boys or whatever. But he finds himself in an urban space now where there's no formalized gatherings for the community to meet.
Yes.
And he's just like, as an older uncle, I still take on the responsibility of passing on. Let me tell you, mfana, right? We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, for this to be that for some dudes out there, man. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We'll give it to God. But
Word.
men's conference, first official men's conference, 2024.
Yeah, no, it's happening.
Yeah.
We want to invite that guy who says, hey, I have a boyfriend. Yo, you have a boyfriend. First of all, I know your boyfriend. And trust me, you are single.
Huh?
Hilda, Danko.
Oh, that guy.
That guy's fun. Anyway, 2.5. We'll see you, man. Peace.
Peace.
Adios.